Your brain is either getting sharper or getting slower every single day. And the disturbing part is that most people have no idea which one is happening to them. Here is something nobody tells you. You were not born with a fixed level of intelligence that stays the same for the rest of your life. Your brain changes constantly. It gets stronger when you challenge it and weaker when you do not. And the habits doing the most damage are not the obvious ones, not the big dramatic ones. They are the ones you repeat every single day without giving them a second thought. The small daily habits that feel completely harmless. Today, I'm sharing the 5 most important. And be honest with yourself. Because what you do every day is either sharpening your brain or slowly damaging it. And I can almost guarantee that the final one is the one most people never think about. Yet it may have the biggest impact on your mental sharpness, your happiness, and even how long you live. Habit 5. Consuming instead of thinking. This is the one most people never think about. Many people believe they are becoming smarter because they spend hours consuming information. They watch podcasts, listen to audiobooks, read articles, save videos, follow experts. But there is a difference between consuming knowledge and creating understanding. Intelligence does not grow when information enters your brain. It grows when your brain wrestles with that information, when you question it, apply it, connect it to other ideas, form your own conclusions. Yet most people never reach that stage. They consume endlessly and mistake it for learning. The result is a strange illusion. You feel productive, informed, and intellectually engaged, while your brain is doing very little deep thinking at all. Because knowledge is not power. Knowledge that has been processed, challenged, and understood is power. And in a world obsessed with consuming, thinking has become a rare skill. Habit 4. Endless scrolling. You pick up your phone to check one thing. 15 minutes later, you are 3 videos deep, scrolling on autopilot, and you have absolutely no idea what you opened your phone for in the first place. That is not just a time problem, that is a brain problem. Every time you scroll through short videos, your brain gets a tiny hit of dopamine. Something new, something stimulating, something that requires zero effort, and your brain, which is always looking for the easiest path to reward, starts to learn that this is how stimulation works: fast, instant, effortless. The problem is that deep thinking does not work that way. Reading a book, solving a problem, learning a new skill, building a business. None of these activities reward you instantly. They require your brain to stay with confusion, boredom, uncertainty, and mental effort long enough to reach the breakthrough on the other side. But every time you train your brain to expect a new video, a new notification, or a new hit of stimulation every few seconds, you weaken your ability to tolerate that discomfort. And discomfort is where intelligence grows. The result is subtle, but powerful. You become less patient with difficult tasks, less able to concentrate, more likely to give up when something feels mentally demanding. Not because you are becoming less intelligent, but because you are training your brain away from the very conditions that intelligence needs to develop. Research shows that heavy social media use is directly linked to shorter attention spans, reduced working memory, and a measurable decline in the ability to concentrate deeply. One study found that the average attention span has dropped significantly in the last decade, and that drop maps almost perfectly onto the rise of short-form content. The fix is not deleting every app you have. It is being intentional. Give your brain at least one period every day where it has to sit with something that does not immediately reward it. A book, a problem, a conversation that requires you to actually listen. That discomfort is not boredom. It is your brain working, and the more you let it work, the sharper it gets. High performers understand something most people overlook. Peak performance is not just physical, it is mental. And the brain you perform with is the brain you train every day. Whether you are running a business, leading a team, training for a marathon, building a career, or pursuing a personal goal, your ability to focus is one of your greatest competitive advantages. Your daily habits are not just shaping your behavior, they are shaping the quality of your thinking, and ultimately, the quality of your thinking shapes the quality of your results. Habit 3. Multitasking. Here is one that is going to be uncomfortable for a lot of people, because multitasking feels productive. It feels like you are getting more done in less time. Answering messages while watching a video, checking emails during a meeting, reading an article while keeping one eye on your notifications. It feels efficient. It feels like a skill. In fact, many people are proud of it. But it's the opposite. Multitasking is not a productivity hack. It is a focus killer. Your brain cannot actually do 2 things at once. Instead, it switches between tasks, rapidly, constantly, and every single switch comes at a cost. Studies have shown that constantly switching between tasks can reduce efficiency by up to 40%. And the damage is not just in the moment. Regular multitasking physically changes the brain. It lowers the gray matter in regions responsible for cognitive and emotional control, which means the more you multitask, the harder it becomes to focus even when you actually want to. Deep focus is a skill, and like any skill, it can be trained or it can be lost. Start small, 1 hour. Phone in another room, one task, no switching. That 1 hour done consistently will do more for your mental sharpness than any brain training app or productivity system ever could. Habit 2. Poor sleep. I know, you have heard this one before, but most people skip over it because they do not fully understand the scale of what sleep deprivation is actually doing to the brain. You might think sleep deprivation just makes you tired. It does not. Just one night of 6 hours of sleep affects your brain in the same way as being legally drunk. Your reaction time slows, your memory gets worse, your ability to make good decisions drops significantly, and you are almost certainly not aware of any of it, because impaired judgment is one of the first things sleep deprivation takes from you. But here is the part that really matters for your long-term intelligence. Sleep is when your brain does its most important work. During deep sleep, your brain literally clears out toxic waste products that build up during the day. It consolidates memories, moving what you learned from short-term storage into long-term storage. It rewires and repairs neural connections. Without enough sleep, none of that happens properly. The research is remarkably clear. Even Einstein seemed to understand this. His sleep hours were non-negotiable, not because he was lazy, because he understood that the brain does not just rest during sleep, it works. And the quality of that overnight work determines the quality of everything you do when you are awake. 7 to 9 hours. That is not a luxury. That is maintenance, and every hour you consistently cut from that is an hour you are quietly borrowing from your own intelligence. Habit 1. Meaningful human connection. And this may be the most important habit of them all, because in today's world, we have never been more connected and never been more disconnected at the same time. We can message hundreds of people in seconds. We can follow thousands of lives online. We can spend hours every day looking at screens. And yet many people go for days without a meaningful conversation, without feeling truly seen, without feeling understood, without sharing their thoughts, fears, dreams, and experiences with another human being. Somehow, we have forgotten that the human brain was never designed to thrive in isolation. It evolved around campfires, around families, around friendships, around communities. For thousands of years, connection was not a luxury. It was a necessity. And while loneliness feels like an emotional problem, it affects far more than your mood. It affects how you think. In many ways, other people sharpen your mind. That is why some of your best ideas come from a conversation. Why difficult moments feel lighter after sharing them. Why spending time with people you love often leaves you feeling more energized, more creative, and more alive. Yet in a world obsessed with productivity, many people sacrifice relationships first. They tell themselves they will make time later, after the promotion, after the project, after life becomes less busy. But later often never comes. So here is my plea to you. Call the friend, meet your family, have the conversation, put the phone down and look someone in the eyes. Because your brain does not just need information to thrive, it needs connection.